If you live on any island in the Bahamas, chances are you've imported or exported some type of goods. Well, have you ever stopped to think about how that thing gets from Miami or wherever to the Bahamas? Well, today, in the first ever episode of The Sunshine Room, we are shining light on a young Bahamian who not only got it from Miami to the country, but to a locker. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Sunshine Room. So Nikoan, tell us your story.
Well, you called my name a moment ago.
Yeah.
I'm Nikoan. I was born and raised in Pinewood Gardens, the great Walnut Street. Certainly. And shameless plug here, Walnut Street was famous for Bahamian and also Levan Superman Sands, who were all a neighbor of mine. So now Jetlocker.
Okay.
But I went to CV Bethel. Before CV Bethel, it was C.H. Reeves, and then Mabel Walker, and also Pinewood Primary at the time. Now I think Cleveland Indians. So that's my school history. So I grew up in a house of, it was 6 of us. It was 6 of us. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, so I would make the other brother.
Okay. So when you're not at the office, what are some things you like to do outside of work?
So, not at the office. Typically, not at the office is bad. But recently, interesting enough, I just kind of we have a staff member here who was apparently one of the top golfers in the Bahamas, and so she kind of getting us into golf. So we've recently been to play golf just last week, and it's fun. So I don't know if something that I'm going to get into, but since you asked and came back to mind, I just might.
Okay. Nah, it was fun, but were you any good at it? That's a different question.
So in the beginning, she laughed at me, so I guess I was terrible. But toward the end, she was a bit more accommodating. She smiled a bit more, so I guess she approved.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So family man, I suppose.
Yeah. Married.
Yeah.
I got married in 2017. December. So this year makes 6 years.
Well, congrats, man.
Thank you very much.
I've been married for all of a year.
Oh,
so
awesome.
If you had some advice to give me, what advice would you give me?
So the advice I would give you is the advice someone gave me. Just do the best you can.
Do the best I can.
Yeah, I think that was the best advice that I got at the time. That was what the day after I got married. I got it from my neighbor. And I think that was the best advice I received.
You want to give a shout out to anybody? Maybe your wife?
Sure. Hey, baby. My wife, Tajaro Johnson. She used to be Swedish. I changed her name.
You changed her name?
Yeah.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I ain't a little nosy. So I didn't just want to learn about Mr. Johnson. I also want to know about his company and how the world my package goes from Amazon to one of these lockers. So let's go behind the scenes to find out more. So Mr. Johnson, how did you come up with the idea of Jetlocker or for Jetlocker?
I was always interested in technology, and so I always was trying to find a way to use that interest. And so I know I wanted to get into the shipping business. I just didn't know quite how. But it had to involve technology. Right? I didn't want to solve for it or do it the same way everybody else kind of was doing it. So I had to find some way to do it. And so that was my interest. And so I didn't know the lockers existed at the time until after a few weeks just kind of going through it. I went online to Google electronic lockers, and that's when I knew it existed. And so that was the perfect marrying of business and my technology interest.
Okay. So walk us through the process. You get the idea, right?
Yes.
You know this is what you want to do. How did you go from the idea to the building that we stand in today?
Yes. So sometimes it could be oversimplified, right?
Okay.
But you know, if you're doing something today as an entrepreneur, what you're doing today, you probably was doing many things before that, right? And so I work at a bank, and then after that, I said, let me try to do something on my own. So I went into photography. I was always interested in the arts as well.
Okay.
And so photography was kind of like an art outlet for me. And so I would have done photography for a bit, but I know I didn't want to stay there, so I wasn't staying there, right? But that was kind of like a passing through, but it also would have taught principles of entrepreneurship, right? And so I said, let me see how I could kind of survive for myself. I'd fall, get back up again, kind of train those muscles kind of thing. And so that's what I was doing for a period. And then Jetlocker kind of came along. But so during the time at the bank, I had saved up enough money that I wanted to invest in to try in a company, right?
Yeah.
So I had saved $20,000. I invested in the company, trying to do all the groundwork that was necessary to get it off the ground. But I invested the $20,000 and lost it all. And so, and that's a part of the training the muscles that I was kind of talking about.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to take a risk. You know what I mean? And so that was my risk. You got to have an appetite for risk. And so I would have done that, lost the money, and then I say, what now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't get $20,000 every day.
No, it don't come like that.
No,
you know what I
no.
mean?
So I lost it all, and then I had to try and find a way to get going again, because that entrepreneur thing within you, it don't just die. You know what I mean?
Keep burning.
Yeah. And so you either decide that you're gonna let it die or you're gonna keep fighting, right? So I had to find a way to fight again. Yeah. So I had applied to the SBDC. And there was a training period of about, if I remember well, 2 months maybe one, where you kind of go through entrepreneurial training, and then business plan, and then funding.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were successful. So thank God for that.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. After learning more about Nikoan and his business, I still wanted to know the answer to my question, which is, how in the world does my package get from Amazon to one of his lockers? Well, there's only one way to find out. All right, so what's the process of me ordering my, let's say, soap on Amazon, and that soap getting from my Amazon cart all the way to your Jetlocker? How does that work?
For the package itself.
Yeah.
So once that would have come in at the port of entry, and then we bring that, we put that on a truck, that package goes on a truck, and then that package comes to the store here on Prince Charles, and then that package is sorted. We sort the package, and then it goes to the pricing team who price it, and then from there the warehouse team would take it to put it on the shelf where we align it in alphabetical order.
Okay.
And then the package moves from the shelf to the locker once it's paid.
Boom. All right, sounds good. So if you ever wondered what it took for a package to get from Amazon, Nike, or wherever you shop from to your doorstep, or in this case, your locker, there you have it. So as we wrap up the first ever episode of the Sunshine Room, I want to spend a special shout out to Jetlocker and Mr. Nikoan Johnson for being our first ever guest. Well, until next time, folks, keep shining.